What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, she's thinking about you? Not in the way you might hope, not with longing texts or desperate calls, but in silence. A quiet, torturous loop of curiosity, regret, and ego. She's watching. Scrolling through your social media. Lingering on old messages. Maybe even typing something out, only to delete it again and again. But will she ever hit send? No. And here's why: the human mind is a battlefield. A silent war between desire and ego, between emotion and control. Right now, she's trapped in that war. She remembers you. She wonders what you're up to. But the second she considers reaching out, something stops her: pride, fear, and one haunting question. What if he's already moved on? Because deep down, she knows that reaching out means risking her own ego. It means facing the possibility that you've become a man she can no longer influence. And nothing terrifies her more than realizing she may have lost her grip on you. This is the brutal truth: most people would rather suffer in silence than admit they were wrong. She doesn't want to be the one to break first. She doesn't want to look weak. So instead, she waits. Watching. Wondering. Hoping that you'll be the one to reach out first. But the moment you do, you confirm her greatest advantage: she still controls your emotions. And just like that, the power remains in her hands. So now, you sit there, debating. Should I message her? Should I call? Maybe she just needs a sign. No. The second you give in, you become predictable. Expected. A memory she can revisit whenever she pleases. But when you don't reach out, when you show no reaction, no need, no weakness, that's when her mind starts to spiral. Did I misjudge him? Is he really over me? Was he ever really mine? This is where the shift happens. Not through words. Not through begging. But through silence. Because the greatest power in attraction is control. Control over yourself. Your emotions. Your reactions. And when you master that, you become untouchable. She feels it. She sees it. And suddenly the roles reverse. Suddenly, she's the one feeling uncertain. Suddenly, she's the one haunted by regret. So ask yourself this: are you ready to take back control? Are you done chasing ghosts? If so, let's dive deeper. Fire 1. The reality of her silence: it's not indifference, it's strategy, expanded. Clapperboard opening hook: the psychological war she's waging against you. You're sitting there, staring at your phone, wondering, does she even care? You scroll through her social media, looking for a sign, anything that tells you she still thinks about you. But all you see is silence. No texts. No calls. No late night "I miss you" messages. And now, you're left with one brutal question. Has she really moved on that easily? Here's the truth: no, she hasn't. Her silence isn't indifference. It's strategy. A cold, calculated game of emotional chess. And right now, she's betting that you'll make the first move. Magnifying glass tilted left: the truth behind her silence. You think she's forgotten you. You think she's out there living her best life while you're stuck replaying old memories. But let me break it down for you. Her silence is a test. She's not reaching out because she doesn't have to. She knows how most men operate. She knows that uncertainty eats away at you. The fear of being replaced drives you crazy. The longer she stays silent, the more desperate you'll become. And that's exactly what she's counting on. Pushpin the psychological power play. Imagine this. You're in a high-stakes poker game. She's holding her cards close, giving nothing away. Meanwhile, you're sweating, fidgeting, desperate to know what she's thinking. And the moment you fold, she wins. That's what's happening right now. Her silence is her power move. She's waiting for you to crack to send that weak, emotional text that says, "I miss you. Can we talk? Do you ever think about me?" And the second you do, you hand her all the control. Open book real life example, how Jake lost the upper hand. Let me tell you about Jake. Jake was in your exact situation. His ex hadn't reached out in weeks. At first, he held strong. But then, one night, after a few drinks, he caved. He sent her a long, emotional text pouring his heart out, begging for closure. You know what happened next? Radio silence. Not because she didn't care but because his message confirmed everything she already knew. He was still emotionally invested. He was still waiting for her. She still had power over him. And guess what? She didn't reply. Instead, she posted a story later that night laughing with friends, looking happier than ever. A psychological dagger. Jake's mistake? He broke the silence first. And in doing so, he proved her right. Light bulb the lesson, why silence is your greatest weapon. Here's what you need to understand. Silence is power. The moment you stop chasing, stop reacting, stop feeding her ego, that's when doubt creeps into her mind. Why hasn't he reached out? Is he over me? Did I make a mistake? And that's when the tables turn. Pushpin what you should do instead. Disappear completely, no texts, no social media lurking, no accidental likes. Become unreadable, let her wonder what you're thinking. Focus on leveling up, hit the gym, build your career, become someone she regrets losing. Direct hit final takeaway, the only way to win is not to play. Her silence isn't a sign that she's moved on. It's a test of your strength. The man who holds his ground, who refuses to break, who becomes unshakable. That's the man she can't forget. So ask yourself. Are you going to be like Jake, weak, predictable, easily manipulated? Or are you going to be the man who walks away and never looks back? The choice is yours. But remember, the moment you chase, you lose. Stay strong. Stay silent. And let her be the one who wonders. Speech balloon, what's your next move? Drop a comment below. I control my emotions if you're ready to take back your power. Fire, want the full breakdown of how to make her regret losing you? Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this is just the beginning. The psychological power dynamic, why silence is your greatest weapon. Fire, opening hook, the emotional tug of war you can't afford to lose. Right now, there's a silent war happening in her mind. She's watching. Waiting. Testing you. And the moment you crack, the moment you send that weak, needy text, you lose. Because here's the brutal truth. Emotions are power. And in this game, the person who feels more always suffers more. Performing arts, the psychological chess match. Think of this like a high-stakes poker game. Every time you check her social media, every time you draft a text you don't send, every time you wonder, does she miss me? You're showing your hand. And she's playing it cold. She's letting time work in her favor, betting that sooner or later, Your emotions will betray you. That you'll break first. And when you do, she wins. Because the second you reach out, you confirm her deepest suspicion. She still occupies your mind. She still controls your emotions. She doesn't have to chase because you'll always come crawling back. Open book real life example, how Mark lost the game. Mark was in your exact situation. His ex hadn't texted in 3 weeks. He told himself he'd stay strong, but then, one lonely Friday night, he caved. He sent a long, emotional message. I miss us. Do you ever think about me? No reply. Instead, she posted a story that night smiling, out with friends, living her best life. A psychological power move. Mark's mistake? He folded first. He proved that her silence worked. And in doing so, he handed her all the power. Light bulb the shift, when silence becomes your superpower. But what happens when you don't break? When you don't text? When you don't stalk her socials? When you give her nothing? Doubt creeps in. At first, she'll think you're just being stubborn. But as days turn to weeks, her confidence shakes. Why hasn't he reached out? Did he move on? Did I lose him for good? This is where the power flips. When your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. When she realizes you're not like the others. You're not the guy who begs. You're not the guy who chases. You're the guy who walks away and never looks back. Direct hit final lesson, how to win without saying a word. Real strength isn't loud. It isn't desperate. It isn't impulsive. Real strength is silence. So here's your playbook. White heavy check mark, stop reacting. Let her wonder. White heavy check mark, disappear completely. No texts, no lurking, no weak moments. White heavy check mark, become unreadable. The less she knows, the more she questions. The moment she realizes she can't control you, that's the moment she regrets letting you go. Speech balloon, what's your move? Drop a comment below, I hold the power, if you're ready to flip the script. Fire, want the full breakdown on how to make her regret losing you? Smash like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the real power plays start now. Prohibited 2. Why chasing only pushes her further away, and what to do instead. Fire, the brutal truth no one tells you. You're sitting there right now, drafting that perfect text in your head. If I just explain myself one more time. If I remind her of our best memories. Maybe then she'll understand and come back. Here's the cold hard truth, that's exactly what will push her away forever. Performing arts, the psychology behind why chasing fails. Human attraction doesn't work the way you hope it does. In fact, it works in complete opposition to what feels natural. When you chase, you're showing her you're emotionally dependent. You're proving she's the prize, not you. You're removing all mystery and challenge. Open book real life example, how Alex lost his ex for good. Alex's girlfriend broke up with him last month. At first, she said she needed space. What did Alex do? Day 1, I miss you text. Day 3, long email about their memories. Day 5, can we just talk, voicemail. Week 2, showed up at her work to explain himself. Result: she blocked his number. Why? Because his desperation confirmed her decision to leave. Every message made her respect him less. Light bulb, the irony of human nature. We only value what we might lose. We only chase what doesn't chase us. We only appreciate what isn't always available. By chasing her, you're doing three fatal things. Making yourself too available, devaluing yourself. Removing all emotional tension, boring her. Proving she was right to leave, showing neediness. Stop sign why your good intentions backfire. That heartfelt message about your feelings. That attempt to remind her what you had. That one last talk you're begging for? She doesn't see it as romantic, deep, meaningful. She sees it as desperate, weak, annoying. Direct hit. What to do instead, the power move. Stop all contact immediately, no texts, no calls, no accidental run-ins. Let her experience your absence, people only miss what's gone. Become someone she regrets losing, gym, purpose, new social circles. Collision, the mind shift that changes everything. You need to flip the script in your mind. Crossmark old belief, if I don't fight for her, I'll lose her. White heavy check mark new truth, by fighting for her, I'm guaranteeing I'll lose her. Rocket final lesson, the unfair advantage. The moment you stop chasing is the moment she starts questioning her decision. You regain your power. The dynamic shifts in your favor. But here's the catch, you have to mean it. No fake indifference. Real transformation. Your move. Will you be like Alex, desperate and blocked? Or will you be the one who walks away, and makes her wonder forever? Speech balloon. I don't chase. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to change the game. Fire. Want the exact step by step to make her regret leaving? Smash like and subscribe. I'm breaking it all down in the next video. Pushpin. The harsh truth of human nature. We don't value what's freely given. We don't crave what's always available. We chase what feels just out of reach. And right now, whether you realize it or not, you are teaching her how to treat you. Every time you double text. Every time you try to remind her of the good times. Every time you reach out first. You reinforce one simple truth in her mind. You are an option, not a priority. You might think you're being persistent. That you're fighting for love. But what you're really doing is removing all mystery, all challenge, all attraction. You're giving her certainty, and certainty kills desire. Think about it. What happens when you watch a movie where you already know the ending? It's boring. Predictable. Forgettable. The same principle applies here. But when you disappear, when you stop chasing, when you pull back completely, that's when her mind starts to work against her. Where is he? Why isn't he reaching out? Did I misjudge him? Did I make a mistake? Your absence creates space. And space creates uncertainty. Suddenly, she doesn't have that emotional safety net anymore. Suddenly, she's the one who has to wonder. Who has to overthink? Who has to feel the discomfort of not knowing? And that discomfort? That's what makes people act. Because here's the harsh truth. No one forgets someone who is truly valuable. If she actually saw your worth, she wouldn't have let you go in the first place. But if she didn't, that means your value wasn't high enough in her eyes. So what do? You increase your value. You rebuild yourself into someone she would regret losing. But that only happens when you let go. When you stop chasing. When you stop trying to force a connection that's already broken. Because real men? They don't beg. They don't plead. They don't chase. They step back. They focus on themselves. And in doing so, They shift the power entirely. If you're done running in circles. If you're ready to become the one they chase. Let's move forward. Brain 3. Emotional mastery, the secret that makes women chase you, while others get left behind. Fire the harsh reality no one wants to admit. You know those guys who always seem to have women chasing them. The ones who don't text first. Who stay cool when others panic. Who walk away without looking back. Here's what they understand that you don't. Emotional control isn't just attractive, it's intoxicating. And right now, your ex can smell your neediness from a mile away. Performing art's the psychological shift that changes everything. Most men think love is about grand gestures, emotional confessions, begging for another chance. But real attraction works in reverse. Women aren't drawn to men who need them. They're drawn to men who inspire them. Open book: The story of James versus Mike, a real-life example. Two guys. Same breakup. Very different approaches. James texted her daily "I miss you" messages. Cried when she ignored him. Posted sad quotes on social media. Begged for one last chance. Result: she blocked him. Mike said "I understand" when she left. Went completely silent. Focused on his business and fitness. Started dating someone new. Result: she came back 8 weeks later, saying "I made a mistake." Why? Because Mike understood the golden rule. The less you react, the more she respects you. Light bulb: the biological truth about attraction. This isn't about playing games. It's about human nature. Women are biologically wired to seek. White heavy check mark: emotional stability, calm under pressure. White heavy check mark: confidence, not arrogance. White heavy check mark: independence, you have a life without her. When you overreact to her silence, beg for attention, make her your emotional crutch, you trigger her repulsion instinct. Stop sign: why your good guy approach backfires. You think showing your emotions proves you care? Here's what she actually sees. Weakness, not strength. Neediness, not love. Instability, not security. That's why the nice guys finish last while the emotionally controlled men get chased. Direct hit: the 3-step emotional mastery blueprint. The 48-hour rule. Never respond to emotions in the moment. Always wait 2 days before reacting. The silence strategy. Let her experience your absence. No texts, no calls, no checking in. The unshakable mindset. I'm the prize mentality. If she leaves, your life continues, better than before. Rocket: the power shift happens when you reach the point where her texts don't excite you. Her silence doesn't scare you. Her presence is a bonus, not a necessity. That's when she'll start overanalyzing your behavior. Wondering why you're so unbothered. Questioning if she made the mistake. Collision: final lesson, become the man she fears losing. This isn't about manipulation. It's about becoming so emotionally strong that her leaving doesn't destroy you. Her silence doesn't panic you. Her return isn't your salvation. That's the man women chase. That's the man who never worries about being left behind. Speech balloon: I control my emotions. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to transform. Fire: want the exact scripts for what to say, and when to stay silent? Smash like and subscribe. I'm revealing all the advanced tactics in the next video. Your move. Will you stay stuck in emotions? or become the man she regrets leaving.